boy Bobby Beach here. I want to talk about a subject that comes to mind, and that is Tariq's Endgame. What is the goal of Tariq at the very end of everything here? What is it that he is trying to accomplish? Is he trying to get into this game and become one of the biggest drug dealers, or become what his father was, the biggest drug dealer in New York? Is he trying to establish himself to be the main guy over all of New York, pretty much putting himself together to be at the top, where his story ends with him being where his father was at the beginning of his story in Power Book 1? Well, I don't know. Several times Tariq has tried to get out of the game because he didn't want to be in it anymore. And we've seen this happen in Power Book 2 Ghost several times. Now, I've often heard, when we were asking for the story about Tommy and Ghost and their past, that, in a way, Courtney Kemp said that it's like full circle. What you're seeing that's happening with Tariq is a situation that pretty much what Ghost went through coming into his power. But all of us know those are two completely different stories with different backgrounds and details. Ghost didn't come, up in a privileged family. He didn't go to privileged schools and had access to all kinds of things. Tommy did not come from a privileged family. When we compare Braden to Tommy, Braden comes from power. He comes from an established family, a well-written family. Whereas, his father was there, his mother was there, and he had siblings, and he was aware of the power that his family had, but he was very down to earth. Tariq, pretty much the same thing. He comes from a very powerful and established family. He knows his siblings. It's just he's experienced so much tragedy, and he's played a part in his own tragedy. However, when it comes down to it with Ghost and Tommy, as far as we know, Ghost was raised by his father, and then his father died, and then he went on to be raised by Tommy's mother. And Tommy's mother raised Tommy and left her other son behind in Chicago while raising both Tommy and Ghost together, which means they come from a single parent home. Also for Kanan to be there to help raise them as well in his own way. Totally different backgrounds to Tariq and Braden in their story. And so that's the reason why the story of Power Origins has to be told. But now you got to think to yourself, what is Tariq's endgame? Does he want to continue on to become the #1 drug dealer in New York, or does he want to fall back and focus mainly on getting out of the game, being with his family, and trying to live a life where he could be successful in terms of business or maybe education? What is Tariq's endgame? What is his true goal in all of this? Well, the only thing that seems to come to mind, in my opinion, about what Tariq wants to do, it'll more than likely be get out of the game, get revenge, get out of the game, and not be there anymore. But the thing is that he may get so deep in power and may get so deep in all of these things that's going on that he has to be the leader. Because there's situations sometimes where people can be put into a situation where they're handling their stuff, but when people become so dependent on him or her that everyone looks to them for answers, and they're the main person they rely on. And Tariq is going to be trying to talk to everybody he can to help him take down the Tejadas, as well as Effie and Noma. And so whenever you do things like that, there's favors, there's loans, there's debts to be handled, meaning that if they're doing this for you, if you didn't pay them right then and there, or you didn't pay them all the amount promised at that time, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to, pay off the remaining debt. And what better way to do it than to hustle, whether that be in the form of a business or whether that be in the form of a street business. He has to do his thing. If they helped him and he paid them a certain amount and he has to pay them later, he has to pay them back. So when it comes down to it, it might be a situation where everybody's going to be looking to him to be the guy that's going to be, making the money. He's the boss. He's the one that's on top. He's the one they know if he's there, they're going to make a lot of money. And so he may be ending up, it may be in that position where he has no choice. He's like, well, I'm here because, all these people rely on me. I'm the guy they all come to. With Braden being by his side because he's going to need somebody he trusted, and whoever else turns out to be on his side ended up being potentially his Tasha, or Tariq potentially just being alone. When it comes down to it, though, his end game is something that we've always talked about, where he was in Power Book 1 so ready to be on the streets, wanting to hustle, do those things, and his father tried to warn him from it, where Kanan and Tasha tried to groom him for it. When it comes down to it, Tariq has been in situations now where he no longer wants to be in the street life no more, and where he no longer wants anything to do with it. However, it seems as though his fate is to be the biggest drug dealer in New York. We will see how things play out. I just want to say to all of you that it is your boy Bobby B. Church. We'll say much love, much respect. Hold it down, and hold on.